So happy with your game at the end of it all, and the team no doubt happy as your eye starts to bleed again. You can't see that on radio. Team pretty happy to get the points, but there were moments in that game when it looked like it might have been different.
Yeah, I mean, he had a slice of luck with the goal. I mean, he hits it back across, and I don't think they've got a player in the box as he tries to cross it, and it loops over Mazza in the goal. But these things happen sometimes, and then from that point, obviously, we've got to grind it out because there's only a goal difference in it, and things become difficult, which they always will do away from home, and they'll have a spell where you need to backs against the wall and defend.
Well, break off from the league now, and the old enemy, not particularly for you, because you didn't play against Dobson, did you?
No, I didn't play, no, but I was at the game. I actually enjoyed the game. I was stood with the Mansfield fans, so it was a fiery encounter, and I'm sure it'll be the same again.
Cup action makes it that little bit different. Is it about the right time for a little break from the league, do you think?
I think so, yeah. It's always good to, everybody will say, the feeling around the club when FA Cup ties are coming, you want to try and go as far as you can and try and get to the big boys, but obviously the first job is to try and get through at Altrincham, which is going to be a tough game because they were a good side down there, I thought, and maybe if they'd have kept the players on the pitch down there, it would have been a tighter contest.
Relax on the way home now. I mean, on this coast, about the English Channel at Eastbourne, you look a bit like maybe somebody who's going to audition for Pirates of the Caribbean with the blood running down your chin.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to spoil my looks somehow, but
no, they couldn't.
That's what a few people said. So anyway, I'll just get on with it. Cheers. See you later.
Cheers.
Really well played today, mate. How did you actually feel in terms of fitness? Because obviously you've been out.
Yeah, obviously I feel that any game under my belt, I'm going to need more and more games. The sharper I'm going to get after being out for 3 weeks. You miss match fitness, and that's something what you try and in pre-season you can run, but you can never emulate the match fitness, and you can only do that by getting out on the pitch. So I was glad to get out early and be tested, and obviously come through the 90 minutes.
Was it a surprise to you to sort of come back so quickly? I mean, obviously the initial diagnosis was to be out a lot longer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we were a bit cautious when I first did the injury, but obviously once I saw I felt it was responding well after a week's treatment, and after seeing the surgeon, he said it looked fine and strong and stable, and so he was happy for me to carry on with rehab and to push on. And obviously I worked double sessions for 2 weeks solid on strengthening the ankle, and it feels good again.
Yeah. I know the gaffer said sort of how he appreciates, I think, the lad Atkin up front, a good player, so quite a tough game to come back into, really.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's a good target man. There's a lot of target men in this league, but I think he's one of the better ones because he makes things difficult for you. I don't think you ever get a free header against him throughout the game, and that's something that becomes a battle throughout the game, and you've got to be on your mettle, and if you don't, he can flick things, and he flicks them on dangerous angles as well. He doesn't just flick the ball to anywhere, he does direct them.
Obviously with the other Luke being ill this week, you were kind of forced into action almost today. Were you happy with that coming back in today, or do you think you might have needed another week training, maybe another game? No,
like I said, I wanted to be out there, and like I said, the only way I'm going to get back to fully fit and sharp is by playing the games. That's the only thing that'll do it. And obviously with Luke being ill, it was ideal for me to come back in and do that.
Fantastic start.
Yeah, I'm pleased with it, and obviously we're pleased with the win, and take that back home now. The long journey. You never want to come here after and get a bad result, because obviously 4.5 hour journey home can be a downer. But now it's going to be quite a joyful trip home.
The surface looked awful from up here, bobbling around everywhere.
Yeah,
it's to judge what you're going to do.
Yeah, it's right. It's very bobbly and bouncy, and it's so dry. I mean, you can see it's difficult to play in them sort of conditions because things just don't stop bouncing. You've got to meet the first ball, and sometimes it can make the game look ugly because you're helping things on and you're clipping it as far as you can at times. And that's just playing the conditions, and I think that's what you've got to do when you come to grounds like this. You've got to play the conditions and play percentages.
How pleasing is it to sort of get the 2 away wins in 2? I mean, obviously people are talking about the away form being an issue after the 3 defeats, but obviously you seem to have answered that now.
Yeah, definitely. I think whenever somebody critics, like you say, have things to say. You want to bounce back and prove them wrong, and I think that I don't think there was ever a big problem. Some of the games, admittedly, we didn't turn up and perform quite how we would have wanted to, but in recent weeks we seem to have put that right. And one of the main things when you come away from home, he's coming out the traps early, and again I think that stood us in good stead today, because once we got the 2 goals up, I'm not saying it's good to protect a 2-goal lead, because sometimes it can be dangerous, but obviously it's we've squeezed past the finish line again with the 3 points.
Well, Craig, first of all, well played. That's quite an introduction to you, isn't it? I mean, you only arrived yesterday and then thrust into the team. Come on for the last half an hour in a frantic game as well.
Yeah, it was. It's been a mad couple of days really, because yesterday I was in bed with my missus. Basically, got a phone call saying, "Dobbo, get to the ground. We need you to sign your contract, and you're involved for tomorrow." So I was told I wasn't going to be involved until the FA Cup next week. So it was a bit of a shock, but I jumped up, got down to the ground and signed the contract, and got here in the end. It took me a good 9-10 hours on the train or something, so about 5 changes. It was crazy, but I got here in the end. So
you had an inkling, you knew there was going to be a contract coming your way at some point, did you? Because you've been on trial, of course, before that.
Yeah, I came in last Tuesday, got a call from my agent, said David Holdsworth was still interested in bringing me here. He'd had some interest in me coming up before the season even started, but I was moving from London to Manchester with my girlfriend, so I didn't know what I was going to be doing, so we just left it for a little while, and then eventually I got here, and it's gone well, you know. So David Holdsworth knew a lot about me before anyway, and last week I came in and just done a bit, and it's just gone from there really.
I was wondering where this move had come from obviously the clubs you've largely been with before, a bit further south, and then suddenly up to Mansfield. Yeah, that's obviously the reason.
That's what happened, yeah. It was my girlfriend had a bit of a drama with her family. Her sister's boyfriend died, so she wanted to move back up home near Preston. So I said I'd move with her, and just try and look for a club when I got up here really. So that's how it came about. So I moved up north and thought I'd leave all the London lights behind and try and get my head back down and get back to football after the horrendous season I had last year. Signed for MK Dons. Paul Wince signed me when I was at Stevenage, when I was playing in this league about a year and a half ago. Might be a couple of years back now, but he signed me for like 30 odd grand. I went there, first day I signed, injured, got ruptured my tendon on my groin. I had to have a big operation that kept me out. He went to Blackburn, Roberto Di Matteo came in, and they found a hairline fracture in my left shin, and I'd never been injured before, and it was just a nightmare. And ended up getting paid up. Andy Scott at Brentford signed me. They won League Two, they went up, and then never played many games there because of my fitness levels, obviously, from being injured wasn't the best. And I just ended up without a club at the end of the season, and I thought I'd just come back this season at some point, and it's taken a while, but now I think I've chose like the right place to get my football back on track again. So
it sounds like you've could have, having started at a lower level and built yourself up, it's almost like right back to square one for you then at the moment. That's strange, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like that to me, but at the end of the day, I've said, like, before I signed here to the gaffer, like, this is a big club, do you know what I mean? They was in the league last year, and to play for someone like the gaffer, I think he's going places himself. So I just think to myself, well, look, we have had conversations, and I said to him, I don't think it's a negative move at all. There's a lot of positives to come from it. Like they're a team that should be challenging, and I think will be challenging. As you've seen today, even when it comes down to battling games out in this league, they can do it. So the boys can do it, and they're all done well today.
It's our first chance, of course, to see much of you, and found out you were going to sign you yesterday. But tell us what your strengths are then. What are you going to bring that we haven't yet seen from you?
Obviously, I never got much of a chance today coming in a front game like that. I just tried to keep the shape and keep it in the corner for the last 20 I ended up. But hopefully I can bring like a bit of pace to the team. I'm a tricky player. Like, I'd like to take players on and score goals. The last time I played in this league, I was with Stevenage Borough with Mark Stimpson. Done well there, and I know the league. I know what it's about. I scored something like 16 goals when I was at Stevenage from right wing, and so I'm just going to try and bring some goals to the team, bit of pace and something different. And you can see the team's based of a lot of big lads, and sometimes it can be quite direct. I think like maybe I can be a different sort of outlet that can either change a game or hopefully obviously start a game and make things happen like on a consistent basis.